He's the master of them all.
What is up, Dolphin fans? AFC East Roundtable. What is up, everybody? You can see TD. He's on the run. Two is after him. The 2 and on is after him.
He's hiding, boys. He's hiding.
They sniping. Hey, they snipe. TD, you better watch yourself now.
He turned off his location on his phone and everything. We have no idea where he is right
Yeah, that's
now.
a burner phone he's doing this off of right now.
What is that? What is that? A Nextel chirp? What is that?
Yeah. He got that at
My life's going on. I'm risking.
We got a good one today. We got a huge game. Hopefully it changes the whole aspect of this team for the past 23 years. Got El Capitan with me and the huge CB83 and TD.
We
How's everyone feeling? How y'all feeling today besides TD who's on the run? El Capitan, how you feeling? How you feeling about this game tomorrow?
Actually, man, I'm quite optimistic. Like, you know, we can sit here and line up all the things and nobody's picking the Dolphins. But that's usually when we win. You know, in years past, it was when everybody was against us and all the reasons we shouldn't, and it was all, you know, relatively sound data. That's when we win that game. Counting us out, it kind of does something to the team, you know. It bands guys together. They all start saying, nobody believes in us. Nobody counts on us. And that typically gets some galvanized, you know, togetherness, and hopefully that will be something we've come to expect in the past, and we can find it tomorrow and we win this game, you know, and it could crush a million narratives.
Oh my God.
You know, tomorrow Tua goes out and puts up 2 touchdowns and over 265, 75 passing yards in a game that's going to be cold. It's going to be windy.
Brutal.
He goes up and puts up some decent numbers. And listen, I was going in hard on Tua, but deservedly so.
Yeah,
Him and Mike McDaniel and Tyreek Hill. They all got their – I took a pound of flesh from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
They deserved it.
Yeah.
But I still believe. Let's call for it. I still believe in this team.
That's how you got to be as a Dolphin fan. CB, how you feeling, man?
Hey, Doug, I wish it were colder. I wish it were colder. Hey, we are going into Kansas City. Hey, I don't care about none of the hoopla about the weather. And, hey – don't tell me about the labor pains. Just show me the damn baby. Go in there and get a dub tomorrow. It's the Miami Dolphins versus the world mentality. It's it. Yeah. It's it. It's Miami Dolphins versus everybody, man. Hey, walk in the Arrowhead, get the dub. It's a business trip. Leave out of there. Come back and get ready for next week. Let's go, man. Let's go.
Before we get to the man in the dark, we have to first and foremost say to him, one of the creators of this channel, one of the creators of this roundtable, a very happy birthday to T.
Oh my gosh.
Vince Talk. What are you turning? 24, 25? What are you turning right now?
39.
Ooh,
39.
You climbing that ladder, man. You almost over that hill. Hey, happy birthday, TD.
While you're driving.
I'm
Happy
39
birthday,
and I'm out here on the run from 2 years, man.
What a thing, man. Bet you never thought in your life at 39 this would be you, what you're doing on the run.
It's a bad place to be. It's a bad place to be.
Protection, my family relocation.
Hey, TD, don't be on the wrong side of history. Don't be on the wrong side of history. Join the club, man.
What's the right side?
Hey, Tua Leroy. Hey, we're going to get that one tomorrow.
I'm with it. Listen, I ain't never not root for Tua. I just need him to finally do it.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. And I saw Doug go viral today on Twitter.
I didn't even make it.
Yeah. Doug didn't even make it, but somebody clipped Doug and Doug was just saying, just win. And I'm with you all the way, Doug. It's like, hey, the stats, all that stuff is cool, right? But when it comes down to it, the Miami Dolphins just want to see you win meaningful games in the playoffs, and that's what it's about at this point, right? I mean, he's done a good job. I think winning is a team stat, right? But I need the whole team to come to play tomorrow. Tua, Tyreek, the offense, the offensive line, the defense, the special teams. We want to see them all put it together. And we've kind of rarely seen that this year where all three phases put it together, but that's what we need to see tomorrow in Kansas City, even in the cold.
And you hit the nail on the head, because the last time Tua played in a cold weather game was in Buffalo last year. It was 29 degrees. He went 17 for 30, 234 yards, 2 touchdowns, 104 passer rating. Great numbers, but we lost.
Yeah.
And it was a pivotal game that we needed to win. So again, like I said in that video, you look at Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert has ridiculous, broke rookie records, equated to nothing. Like, he has not had a playoff win. He hasn't taken his team to the Super Bowl like Joe Burrow did. He hasn't done anything. And it's the same thing with Tua. Tua had a great year, great numbers, top 5 quarterback right now in the season. But if we lost to Baltimore, lost to Buffalo, and we lose to Kansas City, it means nothing.
It does.
You said that on Twitter, Doug.
He did. I seen the clip.
Video, and then somebody put it out on Twitter.
Yeah. So Doug said it on his video, and somebody clipped it. But I mean, I think you were spot on, Doug.
I'm gonna be in the car next to you soon.
Yeah.
Boy, hey, dog, they gonna give you a warning. They gonna give you a warning.
I hate to say it like this, because I kind of brought this point up the other day. I know Tua's top 5, and this is not to down his stats, because his accomplishments just for being healthy all year, the numbers bear all the good results, numbers wise. Yeah, we definitely got some games against the better opponents that we would like to see wins with. Numbers be damned, for lack of a better term. But there's only 9 teams that have quarterbacks that are their starters that went all year. I'm not saying this is an asterisk here, but look how many teams were down their starters a lot of part of the year or been down all year. I'm just saying there's a little bit of ammo here to have some little bit of criticism of him being number 1 in a lot of stats.
That's such a Wolfpack take.
I'm just saying, bro.
Oh my
I'm just saying, CB, if we're going to be real, dog.
That's so TMTG of you, but I'm going to let you have it.
That's right. Because I bring all the data. It's no blind fan stuff. You're right. It will be
that was the most TD thing I've heard all night.
TD's like, man, I like what this guy's cooking.
Oh, what you talking about? I was even about to call him a hater.
Oh my gosh! Hey, y'all on the road today.
I'm just saying.
Here's my thing, though, because stats can be misleading. 100% stats can be misleading. You look at that Jets game last year where we lost 40-17. Going into the fourth quarter, we were down 2 points, and then all of a sudden turnovers gave them the ball, and stats can be misleading. But when you look at the opponents we faced this year, they weren't good. But when you look at the good teams, like when you look at Buffalo when they faced Denver, lost. We dropped 70 on them. Like you look at how other better teams than us have faced against these bad opponents. And yes, the stats do get inflated by us destroying them, but not every team is destroying them. And that's the thing. Not other quarterbacks are doing what we're doing against these teams. Now, yes, it does help you have Waddle and Tyreek, but against that Denver game, he didn't have Waddle and he was doing no look pitches. So, you got to, my whole point is, do what you do in September, October, in December. That's what I want to see from Tua, because the Chargers game, he helped us win that game with his arm. Last year, the Ravens game, I need to see that in December. I need to see him, against Buffalo. We had 4 shots to either tie the game or take the lead. Nowhere to be seen. And it wasn't the play calling. It wasn't because we abandoned the run, because there were guys open. There was opportunities there. I don't know what happens to him. I don't know what goes on in his head when it comes to, Tua, we need to win this game to win the East. And it's like he just makes these mistakes, and I don't know. I have no answer.
They're coming for the man. They're clipping that next, Doug. That's all I know.
Doug, be careful.
They're clipping that next, Doug. That's all
Go
I
ahead,
know.
TD, you have something?
Well, Doug is spot on, bro, because it's not the offense, the system. It's not the system. People are like they're figuring the system out.
No.
Well, I know we all done seen Kurt Warner footage from yesterday.
Yeah, I saw it.
No, I ain't even finna get on to it. But at the end of the day, I didn't know. I was like, did they figure the system out? I didn't know. Kurt Warner footage just tells you they didn't. We just need to execute.
Yep.
And that's fair. And that's fair, TD. That's fair criticism.
On both sides of the ball, though. To be honest with you.
Yeah. And that's fair criticism. And Tua's in his 4th year of developing as a passer. 2 of those years under McDaniel. I think it takes time to get to the point where you can do everything, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I think we can all agree that when Tom Brady came into the league, his 4th year, he wasn't a complete passer, right? So I think it's gonna take time for Tua to get that. And the Miami Dolphins are in a window where it's like, hey, we're trying to win. We're trying to go win a Super Bowl. And I get it. It's like a tough, being in a tough spot, especially for us as fans. We want to win. We want a Super Bowl. But it's also like we still got to understand that Mike McDaniel is in his second year and Tua is in his second year in this system. So
here's the
Well,
deal.
CB,
Here's the
go ahead,
deal. This I got to bring up this big point, and this is probably going to
Okay.
open a worm of a conversation and a good one, because this is the essence of what's going on in Dolphin streets right now. What the real conversation is about is that next contract, right? CB, you're dead spot on. It takes time. And the truth of the matter is, like if we want to be fair to Tua, fair to him, right? We have to void out the first 2 years.
Yeah.
If we want to be fair, now y'all follow me down this road.
What do you mean by void out the first 2 years?
Under
calling
Florida.
it a wash. Calling it a wash.
Well,
Yeah.
like,
as far as
making like the
an
big time
assessment.
decision. You can't count
Okay.
them.
Yeah. Okay. I see what
It's
you're
not
saying.
fair to count them. Now, when it's all said and done, we may say it was fair because nothing changed, but it's not fair to count it if we're going to be fair right now. Okay. Now, if we think in that sense, in that process, right? We're only in year 2 with McDaniel, right? Here's what I want to ask you guys. If we weren't at the 5th year yet, say this was year 3 like last year, but we've gotten these 2 years of McDaniel, right? Year 2 and year 3, just push everything back a year. Would we be giving him the big contract, or would we be picking up the 5th year option? I want to think in those terms, because it'll help us take any biasness out, right? And it'll tell us whether we should give the contract now, because I feel like we may be skewed about the contract now because we're in a situation where the decision is there's not many options now. And we're kind of stuck with that. So I want to ask all 3 of you, if we were in year 3, would we be picking up the 5th year option, or would we be signing him on a long-term deal, knowing what we know right now? And now this is without Sunday, another opportunity to prove, but just as of right now, without Sunday, it can change. I mean, Saturday. It can change Saturday, but as of right now, if the season was over, we've been eliminated. 5th year or new contract?
Well, and it's such a hard question, because you look at his stats and it like right now, if we were to trade Tua Tagovailoa, there'd be a ton of teams calling, just from his play this year, just from how he pushed the ball. There's a lot of narratives with Tua that got shut down the past 2 years. So, but see, with me, when it came to picking up his 5th year option, I didn't want to do it. I wanted to wait. But he had a good year. But then again, there's that stigma. Like, are we going to be stuck with another Phillip Rivers type quarterback? And that's where, in all honesty, if I took my fandom out of it and I was the owner or the GM, they're gonna sign him. And in your scenario, they would sign him because he had a very good year last year. Even though he got injured, he showed that he could stay healthy, and he's top 5, top 10 quarterback in the NFL right now. And you kind of have to lock that down and hope he continues, like CB said, to develop. So my answer would be, yeah, they would probably give him the extension.
They would sign him just based off of stats.
So wait a second.
Well,
now.
some of his
in the big games at the end of the seasons, he's been one of the guys who's folded the most.
And that's where I come in as my reservation, because throughout the year, Tua has shown he can extend the plays, he can avoid the blitzes, he can make the throws, he steps up in the pocket, he does it throughout the year, where I'm like, there he is. Okay, you keep doing this, we're going to win, or you're going to get the contract extension. And then the past 3 games, because even in Dallas, we need to march down the field, score the field goal to win that game. He did it. He was helping us do it. And you're
Did he march down the field, or the running backs marched?
I think he marched down the field. Dang, TD.
Yeah, no, they marched down.
6-yard passes or something.
Yeah, but he was doing it.
Slant seams. What else can he do? Jeez Louise.
But then all of a sudden, now it's crunch time, and but they're going to give him it, because, like you said, The Jets would have loved to have Tua this year. Love to have Tua this year.
I know they gonna give him
Well,
the money.
let's do this. Let's do this
I know they gonna give
exercise.
it to him.
Let's do this exercise. Like when we came into the season, we probably would have extended Tua. It wasn't that. It was about nothing for Tua when it came to the extension, but health. Let's be real about it.
No,
Let's
that
be
was a
real.
narrative.
So
That was a
a
narrative.
lot of it was health based, and we were just worried about, hey, can Tua stay healthy? Like, can he show
was a
that
narrative.
he's capable of staying healthy for an entire season? Because I truly believe the best ability is availability. And if he's not there, if he's not going to be available for the team, then he's going to be a hindrance, right? So when it was coming into the season, I think it was all about health. And then once he showed that he can stay healthy, a lot of the Wolfpack moved the goalposts and they said, hey, well, now he's not showing up in big moments, right? And I get it. And I get the showing up in big moments. That's a key aspect. Quarterbacks need that Mamba mentality. And when you saw Josh Allen in the fourth quarter Sunday, you knew he was going to do something to find a way to will his team to a win. And Tua didn't show that. Tua didn't show the moxie. He didn't show the grit. And we've seen it at times, but it's just not enough. We don't see it enough, right? And I think that's something that Tua needs. And can he develop that, TD?
Develop what?
A moxie, a willingness to will his team in the fourth quarter. Is that something he can develop and gain confidence or no?
You gotta have the internal ability first, and he ain't got it.
Ooh, wow.
He is so limited. He is so limited that he is nothing he can do outside of the frame of what we've given him, and he has to be perfect in that to impact the game.
Well, that's
He has to.
Well, I think
That's
TD,
the whole point.
But TD, that's not fair.
It is fair. He's a guy in the pocket who. Listen, the man can't process the field. He cannot process the field. Tua has to be perfect in what he does well, and he will be able to impact us on a greater scale. But that is a major ask. Like this is what I'm trying to tell you. Do you know that Josh Allen is no different than Tua in the pocket from a processing standpoint? Josh Allen can't process either. Josh Allen makes up for it with his legs. His ability
TD,
to extend.
And I agree with you wholeheartedly. But I think you're not doing yourself a fair. I think you're doing yourself an injustice when you say, hey, Josh Allen he can't process either. He's the same thing as Tua. Josh Allen hasn't had a history last year of having concussions and not being and getting hit.
Now you're getting to the point I was going to do.
So you can't. So I mean, as a quarterback, Tua's trying to keep himself healthy, right? And we may say, oh, that's limiting him as a quarterback, right? And that's true. But you got to take into consideration last year and what happened and the hits he took in some of those games. And I think Tua right now is focused on staying available for his team. And I think that is the fine line between making plays, off script, improvising, running the football, doing a lot.
He hasn't had concussions. Now, next year, maybe he'll be more open to.
I don't know.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm saying his.
If he was fearless and didn't care about his body, he too slow. His body is not big enough to absorb the rigors of a full season of putting himself at risk like that.
See, that's kind of the thing I was getting.
Go ahead, Cap. Yeah, but I think TD is doing himself a real injustice when you say that.
I don't think so. I think he's saying it a little bit of the wrong way.
Anything with his health then? It just because he stayed healthy because he hit himself all year, then that doesn't prove the health narrative. He got to go out there and put himself at risk and show that he can stay healthy then.
Yeah,
of course, and that's what happened.
And I think he's talking about,
and I think that will happen.
The injury thing then.
I mean, he's shown that he can stay healthy. He's taking hits this year, right? Now, I don't think he's willing to. I don't think he's willing to put his body on the line like that, TD.
That's a problem, CB. If he's not willing to put his body on the line, then you've answered your own question. He doesn't have Mamba mentality because that's what it takes.
And that's what it takes. And Cap, you're right. You're spot on. He doesn't have the mentality. He doesn't have the grit because maybe he doesn't have the confidence in his body. I don't know.
If he had it,
they're clipping CB on that one.
I don't
If
know,
he
but
had
dog,
the
he's not willing to
mentality,
take off and run, bro. He's not
but that's
really
the
willing to
point.
do it.
If he had that mentality, maybe he'd be injured again. So did he really prove the injury narrative if he just
That's
protected himself?
That's what
that's
I'm
a good
saying.
question, but
And
you also got
now
to
with
take
both
into
of these points, though,
consideration.
CB, with both of these
Go
points, you
ahead,
got
go
to
ahead.
think as soon as his internal clock is getting past that 2.5 second mark, even with a clean pocket, I don't know if he can't operate the whole field as much as if the bell's going off in his head and now he's thinking about business decisions, not to take
Exactly.
a spear in the back because he knows his limitations, TD, limitations of he can't take those types of hit. He just can't. And that's just something we got to figure out. Is there
But
ways
it's
to make that better for him where he can be, I don't know, tougher or less likely to break ribs or what have you? I don't know. That's I mean, listen, they
We
got hundreds of
cannot
millions of dollars in the medical staff. I'm sure they could figure
we
something, right?
cannot live in a world, El Capitan. We cannot live in a world where we're saying that he can't take certain hits, but yet allow him to prove he can stay healthy. It doesn't make sense. You have to play the position at its fullest capacity, and then we'll determine whether you can stay healthy doing that or not. Let's be honest. This year, even our offense is geared towards keeping him healthy. So therefore, this team is making a decision. We're either going to have a version of Tua that we don't get hurt, but we will be limited in that case in what we can actually do. Because there was one play Kurt showed on that Kansas City game where we had a chance to tie it up. That touchdown that was underthrown, where everybody was like, oh, he threw a dud. The truth is, it wasn't just a dud. He just wasn't willing to stand in there and take the hit.
That's
it was
right,
a
CB.
hit that was there to take. He was going to take a hit, but he could have made the play. He could have made that play, but the consequence of tying the game and putting your team on the spot was taking that hit. So which is it going to be? Are we going to have the
in later in
permanent
the year
limitation?
football. That's the
Are
difference
we
in
going to
later
have
in the
the
year
permanent
football, TD.
limitation, or are we going to truly allow him to prove he can stay healthy?
So hold on. It can both be true because early in the year, I don't need him taking those hits. We'll figure it out. But come here to like Doug's point, later in the year, it's life and limb. It's life and limb.
Tomorrow.
You got to take those shots. There is no tomorrow if you lose these games.
In the last 3 weeks. In the last 3 weeks, there have been plenty throws he could step right into, but he made a business decision.
That's right, making business. And if he comes out making business decisions in this KC game, now we got a problem.
But
because
see,
we got a guy who's thinking more about himself than the betterment of the team to do what the ultimate goal is, and that's win Super Bowls.
But you guys are proving my point, though, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta understand, Tua at this point is making business decisions about being healthy and staying available for his team.
I mean, listen, is it always going to be that way, CB?
I don't know.
Once we pay him, then he's going to now do
us
favors?
But when he get his money, he's going to put it on the line, and then we might find out he's still injury prone.
That's what I'm saying, TD. And now
I think the concussions are one off. Doug, you need to get in here. Give me some help. The Wolfpack is going
Doug's
crazy
like, man, these guys are cooking right now.
Well, I disagree with one thing because that against the Cowboys, that pass to Jalen Waddle, he took a big hit standing in that pocket, throwing that pass
Doug,
to Jalen Waddle. And he took a few hits from Parson to the point where at halftime he had to pull Teron Armstead aside and was like, man, you need to do what you got to do because he was taking hits. So,
but Doug, I remember a lot of those hits. Those aren't, I'm about to take this hit. Let me step in and deliver and accept it. Those are, the ball is gone, bang. Oh, crap. I took that hit.
The Waddle one, he was throwing it as he got hit. There's been, and again, I'm not agreeing, but there has been a few plays throughout the year where he'll stand there and he'll take a hit to get the pass off. But if he doesn't need to, don't.
Bro, he's trying to get the ball out.
Like it's a double-edged sword because
he's trying to get.
You're going to put yourself at risk, and then if he gets injured, we're screwed because we can't.
But we've seen more business decisions than step-ins.
But you're right. You're right, but Mike McDaniel has also programmed this kid to get the ball.
Oh, now it's Mike McDaniel's fault. I hate that.
I think that's.
CB.
I mean, no, I mean
hate
that's
that take,
bro. I mean that's the nature of the offense. It's a timing offense, timing based offense. It's 2 steps. Do your 2-step drop, do your 3-step drop, and let it go. Don't hold on to it. Get it out right away. Do we see that in the offense? I know we see that. Now that has hindered Tua for sure. And it's partly Tua's fault and it's partly Mike McDaniel's fault. And that's a very great area that they need to figure out. Like at some point, you got to stand in, improvise, take shots, move off platform and throw the football. I think Tua's only missing a few things. It's being able to improvise, it's throwing the ball off platform, and it's the moxie late in the game. It's just he hasn't shown
plays,
that.
Making something out of
improvising. That's
that
it.
is the most
And
important thing.
also
We
processing
need
the
to see in Tua's
field for the best option.
Yeah, you're right. That's part of it too. That's every player in the NFL. That's every quarterback, TD.
And that's why I'm telling not that ain't every quarterback.
That's a
Let me
lot of
say
quarterbacks in the NFL. Trevor Lawrence, Joe
listen.
Burrow, Herbert, all of them.
Don't you dare say Joe Burrow.
Oh, that's your boy. That's your boy.
Find some flaws, but don't give Joe Burrow that.
Joe Burrow got moxie, dog.
No, it wasn't about the moxie. It was about reading the field. That's what we're talking about, processing. Everybody, every quarterback in the NFL is trying to learn reading the field. That's a part of it. They see a lot of defenses.
I'll give you this. Ain't no quarterback in the NFL perfect at doing it, but there's levels to it. Some of them doing it 7 out of 10, others doing it 3 out of 10. Some of them ain't doing it at all. That's all I'm saying. And listen, I'm not disputing this take the hit for Tua thing. I don't care if you want to make the business decision. I get it. I'm just talking about from an evaluation standpoint. We got to be honest about that and evaluate for what it is. That's all I'm saying. If you want to take the business decision, if Mike want him to have the business decision, all means, I don't have an issue with it. That just means you have to be a little bit more perfect in the other things because you are putting a limitation on the team, whether it's Mike McDaniel, Tua, or whoever it is, because we cannot maximize what our potential is if that's something that we're not willing to sacrifice. If that's the decision made, that is perfectly fine. But you gotta be almost perfect in all the other stuff. And we're not getting that yet. Not to say he can't develop into that yet, but until we get it, it's hard when we talk about giving this money, because I feel like this season, one of the biggest problems is y'all got to understand anything can be done until you get that money. We could be making business decisions. I don't want to get hurt. We could be making it. Tua's thumb could literally be hurt to the point where the doctors could be telling him, hey, you might need to sit a game and make sure you get that right. Because he's been misfiring a lot of stuff lately. His thumb could be hurt. But guess what? It doesn't matter because you're in overtime right now of your contract, and this is the last chance, and you got to get out there and deal with it anyway, whether you play good or not. You've done enough this season to where we could argue you getting your money. That could be an issue too. And then we want to make sure we don't go into these negotiations with you not being able to be on the field. And that could be hurting us as well. So there's so much that's business related right now that a lot of people aren't thinking about. Now, everything I said may not even be the case, but it ain't gonna. I gotta think about it. I gotta think about these things, man, because it could be real. We're in the last moment of a major decision. I don't want to get like.
But TD, come on now, you got to be real with yourself too. I mean, Daniel Jones got $45 million. Like,
they were dumb.
But we gotta be. But look, we gotta be real about the QB market. QBs get paid, and really, and they get paid, right? QBs get paid. That's the nature of the game right now, right? Now they're gonna get paid, but my question is, right, is that how much will Tua take in guaranteed money? He's shown that he can stay healthy. I mean, like, what are we gonna do? What are our alternatives?
CB,
that's the truth. We don't really have alternatives right now. I will give you that, CB.
Honest. We don't have alternatives.
Let's be honest, y'all. He's going to set the market, or it ain't happening. Let's be honest.
No, there's no way. You can't pay him.
Gosh,
no, he's not going to set the market.
He's going to reset the market as a quarterback signing. You really think so?
You have to.
I can't see that.
I don't think so either.
TD the only one on that. I think he's taking. I think he's taking a quarterback discount.
Even if he sets the market, it's not going to be under $50 million. It's not.
I can see that. I mean, when
And
Daniel
that's-
Jones get 45, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, the problem now. How about you do me this favor, then CB83? Name to me the quarterback that had questions going into their contract. They gave him the money and it worked. There ain't one. That's the problem. At what point is a general manager gonna say screw the market? We keep talking about but the market
It doesn't happen though. It doesn't happen.
Well, because you know why, TD? I'll tell you why, TD. Well, hold on. I'll tell you why. Because it to even get to the point where you're considering on paying a quarterback has been an absolute struggle for franchises.
Exactly.
To even be to that point where you're considering on paying a guy a bag like that, teams would almost kill to even be in that situation. Now, I understand what you're saying. Let's break the mold, because here's the deal. If you're not winning inside, and here's why Dolphin fans, here's why all of us are even having this conversation. We all know the moment that ink is put onto that paper, it becomes exponentially harder to win Super Bowls, because now a huge amount of your money is going to one player on the team. And if that one player isn't the best player on your team, down in and down out, it's hard to spread the wealth, forget talent, to prop them up, to bring them up. Now, TD, you were talking about something earlier about saying all these things got to be perfect. When you're thinking about all these things that have to go right for a quarterback, and you're going to pay him the money, I mean, we're talking about you need superior game planning and execution every week. And anything outside of that deviation from the plan creates a snowball effect in which we're getting run off the field. And this is a problem. This is a real problem. That's why we're all sitting up here nervous. We want to keep Tua. We know he can play well enough, but is it well enough to win and pay? That's the question. We like Tua. We know he can win games, but is it well enough to pay and win? Can we make that happen?
See, the only thing I disagree with, Capitan, with that is that you got to look at like Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts signed a 5-year, $255 million contract, $51 million a year, and the Eagles were still able to add players because of how his contract was structured. This year it's a $14 million cap hit. Next year it's a 21. He doesn't really see $45 million until 2027. So they can do what they need to do.
You can manipulate it.
But Doug, if they don't win a Super Bowl this year or next year, they're
you
cooked.
can manipulate it, but once again, you're kicking the can down the road.
No, I know. I agree with that.
In 2027, they can cut Jalen Hurts and go look at what his cap hit gonna be when they cut him.
They paid him $40 million to be somewhere else.
Pretty much. And if
we dealt with this with Tannehill.
First, they saved $25 million if they cut him.
Yeah, but what's the cap hit though that year in 27?
Probably like,
if it's post June 1st, it's $20 million.
What if
and after
in 28, again, if it's post June 1st, it's $24 million.
So what is it in 20 million over the next 2 years after he's gone?
What is it in 2028?
$24 million.
What is it in 2029?
He's not under contract.
He's not under contract.
Huh?
He signed a 5-year contract in 2020.
Is he done at 28? No. They got voidable years on there. You don't see the red?
Yeah. It's not showing. It's not showing the dead cap.
Oh, you're on Spotrac right now?
What happened?
You're on Spotrac?
Yeah.
And they're not
You're
showing his.
All they're showing is options and cap hit. The dead cap stops at 2029. It's $8 million.
Do you see any voidable money in red that's under that?
I see orange. I see cap hit money.
Yeah. That orange. What is it?
26, then 16, then 7.
You see all that dwindle down, Doug? They get to structure it however they want to, but that's going to be a cap hit against them.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is just what Al Capitan was saying is that if he gets the contract, we're not really going to be able to do much when if you structure it a certain way, like the Eagles have just consistently been adding players left and right. So there is a window, but then at a certain point, kind of like the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, that money is going to be due and that window is going to start to close. So that's all I'm saying is I agree, but
I'm not saying this the day you sign him, you're cooked. We know that, in fact, to your point, Doug, the earlier you sign him, the better it gives you an ability to manipulate.
We signed him to a contract. We see like $15 million next year.
Exactly,
it depends on the type of. It depends on the type of team you are. You got to notice what the Eagles have been doing. I think the Eagles are on to something where here's what they've been doing. They go for complete broke
Yes.
to win a Super Bowl.
Yes.
And then they go silent for 2 to 3 years to catch up, and they concede the fact of what they're going to be. And then they go for broke again.
Mhm.
But that is a strategy that they've decided to employ, so they know they're going to suck for a certain amount of years, but then they're going to put it all on there. And that's what they go look at the last Super Bowl with Jay Ajayi and all of them. They went for broke.
Yep.
And when they had to move on from everybody, nobody talked about them for the 3-4 years. They were nothing. And now they're in this new situation again. They're going for broke. As long as they can keep getting Super Bowls out of it or trying to, they're cool with that. For the Miami Dolphins, we can do something similar, but we have to understand our window will close in 26. Our window closes for that in 26 to where you're going to suck in 27, 28, 29.
Yeah.
And then
Even
you're going to try to
27,
open another window.
because of Tyreek Hill's contract and because of Jalen Ramsey's contract. Those contracts,
all of them, dog. They set up that way. Chubb, too, 27. When you can get out, that's what it's time for.
This what kind of coincides to our next topic is this game coming up tomorrow. If the Miami Dolphins go out and they win this game and they're competitive and they show that we have Mostert back, we have Waddle back, we're probably not going to have Javon, or we might have Elliott back, but we are competitive and we can compete and we're this close. We just need a little push. Stephen Ross is going to bust out that checkbook and start signing bonuses to bring that cap hit down. But if we lose and we get blown out like we did the past 2 games, Stephen Ross is not going to sign checks, and we're going to be in a cap hell. But in all honesty,
I don't see why this game makes a difference.
Because
I feel like if they're going to pay him, they're going to pay him anyway.
But if they win, they show that they're a different team than they were the past 20-something years. Because how many times did we
against the Chiefs?
Against the Chiefs in negative 30-degree weather. I
think they're running it back anyhow, Doug. You know what I'm saying? Like at this point,
they're
you're almost
forced
too far
to run it back regardless.
Bro, you ain't got no other alternative. You don't have no other alternative. I mean, it would be different, guys. It would be different.
It all up, and that's just not feasible.
Yeah, and why would you? And why would you blow it up at this point? I mean, all you're gonna do next year is try to plug and play. You're trying to find the weak spots on the roster.
Whether he plays well or not, it don't matter. It don't matter in this game.
Nah, and I think it matters. Look, I think it matters in terms of
negotiation table.
Exactly,
it certainly does.
I think it matters in terms.
I think that they gotta already have their decision now.
I think they got a number in mind. I think they got a number in mind for sure. But I tell you what, Tua goes.
Let's say this. Let's say they have a number in mind and Tua goes out there and plays lights out in the playoffs and takes us to a Super Bowl and he wins. That number is definitely changing, bro. And that's the nature of the game.
If he wins the Super Bowl, they can give him all the money. I don't care. I don't care. Give him all.
TD would be upset. TD would be upset.
No, he would not. Who? A Super Bowl? Nobody's upset. We don't care. We'll go for broke and irrelevant.
If we won a Super Bowl with Tua, fans will still hate me because I'll be talking about how much better he is than Dan Marino.
But that's not true because
I might get a Tua tattoo on my shoulder. He wins me a Super Bowl.
But that's not true because if Tua wins a Super Bowl being a game manager and just being efficient, people will still say, "Oh, he rode the coattails of the defense."
And guess what? They can say that all they want. They're gonna be fighting me.
I don't care. Yeah, they got
it's all good, bro.
Nintendo's on that too. I don't care.
There's a section of the fan base that regardless of what Tua does,
thank you,
they don't want him.
Thank you.
And then there's a section of the fan base that regardless of what Tua does, he is God. And then there's us four and the others that in the middle, they see the good and they see the bad. A lot of people get on TD because they think that he's hammering on him. TD wants to win. So he's watching what Tua's doing.
But TD does pile it on a little bit. TD does pile it on a little bit.
Get emotional.
I'm waiting on him.
I think he piles it on a little bit.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing with TD, right? When Tua does something, but TD is an extreme human being. That's why I love him.
Very extreme.
When Tua does something bad in a situation that we need to win, it drives him nuts. So he erupts. But did you see TD last year after we beat the Ravens? That man was going to get his name tattooed on his butt cheek.
You know what? No, I don't know about that.
Hey, he did, Doug.
Hey,
He did.
the
I
cheek
seen
tat?
the text thread.
The
Yeah.
cheek tat? Okay,
Hey,
TD.
Doug, I disagree. I disagree
That
about
to a
one
tramp
thing.
stamp.
You were talking about the spectrum. You got these people, you got those people, you got us four. Ain't no us four, maybe us three. CB83 is two in there that one. He
Oh
already
yeah,
got
you
the
right about that, boy.
To a Leroy.
He
I'm riding with my
already got
QB,
the
man.
cheek tattoo.
Hey, and
He's
this
got the
guys,
tramp stamp
and
to
this is
prove
what
it,
I want,
TD.
and this is what I want to. This is what I want to say. I want to say it's okay for Dolphin fans to love their quarterback. He's our quarterback. He's our one. So go, hey, love your quarterback, man. I'm a love Tua till he's not a Dolphin. Now, if he goes somewhere else, hey, do your thing, bro. I'm still a Dolphin fan. I'm riding with the logo. But I'm riding with one. Hey, he gonna go in there and get this dub for us tomorrow, man. Hey, I'm happy for where he is. I think he could be a lot better. I think he's going to develop and be a better player. But I think in his fourth year, second year in the Mike McDaniel, we're seeing a good football player. I think we're seeing that.
I think we have seen
tighten up.
improvements. There'd be nothing but lies if you didn't say you saw improvements.
Come on, he's getting better every year.
That's the thing I'm encouraged about with Tua is that every year he's getting better.
Yes.
Even when he had his, people that didn't want him there and Flores and whoever else, he was still consistently getting better. But there's still that one bit that I have reservation about, and it's the end of the year. Now, if he can fix that and consistently get better, then signing him to a contract isn't anything that I'm really worried about. But
we could win tomorrow. We could have 2 victories for this fan base, much less just beating the Chiefs. If Tua helps this and ends that narrative, I mean, I got a little bit of goosebumps just thinking about it. I mean, that would be amazing to have 2 victories tomorrow, because that's something I think that's what we want, bro. That's what we want. That's what we need.
We talked about Tua for like this whole thing.
Did. My goodness, can we get off it?
Do you think Mike McDaniel now? He might have his hand forced a little bit depending on how bad the wind is. They're saying like 20-mile-an-hour winds. Do you think he will stick with the run game? And do you think because we should have beaten the Chiefs? 2 run plays got us down to 31. He threw it 4 times. There were so many times and opportunities we could have beaten these better teams. And it was the play call. Do you think, and we'll start with CB83, do you think he'll stick with the game plan and run the ball?
Doug, when I go to bed tonight, I'm gonna get on my knees and I'm gonna pray to God. I'm gonna say, hey, God, I know I don't ask for a lot, but all I'm hoping is that Mike McDaniel will run the ball consistently for 4 quarters tomorrow, God. That's all I want. And if he does that, I think we'll have a much better shot at winning the football game. And I'm going to say, God, bless my family, bless my wife, bless everybody. I pray that everybody stays healthy. But I just want Mike McDaniel to run the freaking ball tomorrow, and that will be the difference. It will be, because we saw this last year. We saw this in San Francisco last year. We saw this versus the Chargers last year. Just getting away from the run game. And even at times this year, it's like just getting away from the run game. Tua's not the type of quarterback. And Kurt Warner said it today, right? He's gonna miss on those reads. He's anticipating. He's not really reading the field at all times. So you have to keep teams honest by running the football. You got to keep those linebackers coming up to the line of scrimmage, right? And if they're not coming up to the line of scrimmage, they're dropping in windows where Tua is trying to throw the ball, right? And if they're dropping in those windows, there will be interceptions unless you prove that you could be a threat in the box running the football. And it can't just be out wide all the time.
No, please.
It can't be. It can't be tosses and sweeps every time. It's got to be some stuff inside. You got to get creative, run some traps, run some counters, and show that you can be physical. I think that's the problem with Mike McDaniel. He just doesn't want to show that he's physical inside, and he will pound his guys and get after it. Come on. That's what I need to see.
What are you thinking?
The thing, Doug, that CB didn't say is when he gets down to pray on his knees, he's like, "Dear to a tongue of a low." And that's what he forgot to put in that. So
he does have the left arm.
He wasn't reaching out to God. He's saying, "Dear Tua, can you please tell Mike McDaniel?" That's really what he meant to say. Listen, I feel like a lot of the fan base was ready to pile on because of how few we ran the ball in the second half of the game last week. But I mean, look, they loaded the box. The pass calling passes was the right idea. Maybe think what you want. I wish Tua would have took more time to scan the field because he had a clean pocket. In this game, though, you're gonna have to have extra blockers in. You're gonna have to win the line of scrimmage like that. You're gonna have to go ahead and use a power running game. Now I'm hoping they're dialing up some good comeback routes and some quick little dart passes to spread the defense out and also use the play action because you're gonna need that too because it's the only way to keep the defense honest. Usually you run the ball to keep the defense honest. You're gonna have to pass the ball to keep the defense honest in this game, but it's going to come down to us winning those trenches in the run game, but it's also going to come down to how well Tua could take care of the ball in the passing game, in the elements, not asking him to, put it 40, 50 yards downfield. No. But listen, you catch him slipping and Tyreek's wide open and you could just loft one up and he can run underneath it, that would be great. But down in and down out, I think it's going to be more about being reserved in the offense, having some decorum, not trying to prove a point by pushing the ball down the field when it's just unnecessary. Take it, run their pace. That Jets game is a perfect example. They could have went ahead and gone for broke at any point, and they never did. They allowed that team to make mistakes, and they didn't rush and get all excited because they got the ball in a short field or whatever. They stayed patient. They stayed paced, and that's how you can win. And I expected us to continue doing that. We saw that in the Dallas game. We saw it in the Jets game. And then in these last two games, it seems like they've thrown caution to the wind. And then now they're the team making mistakes with the other team capitalizing on it. And that's just not how you're going to win in December, late in January, in the playoffs. That's how it's done.
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head. We can't have the same situation, even though it's not as severe, like the Tennessee Titan game, where all of a sudden, we were forcing the pass a little too much. Where on the flip side, you had Ryan Tannehill was throwing it I think he threw it 16 times in the game. That's a horse of a different color. But let's get to these super chats. This one's from Real Talk Prez. He said they didn't figure out the system; they figured out Tua's tendencies in the system just as bad. I agree with that. I think that they definitely, they figured out his stuff and he needs to change it up. Deshaun Wilson with the $2, he said he was doing that with Flores, O'Shea, and Gailey. I think he was talking about standing in the pocket. Awesome LA with the $20 donation said, yo, CB83, Mamba mentality doesn't develop. It's already in them. Kobe and Brady had it.
I agree with that.
As soon as they got into the league, Tua had to have come in the league with that way, or else the mentality is already done. And yeah,
don't even respond. Don't even respond.
Hold on. Tom Brady didn't come in. He didn't come into the league with a Mamba mentality.
He had the mentality.
Yes,
he had the mentality.
First of all, look.
He came from the seventh round up. That's the only Mamba mentality.
And gaining confidence. And gaining confidence, you gain the ability to have that Mamba mentality, right? When you are playing elite football at a top level, that's when the Mamba comes, bro. You can't be stopped. That's the Tua Leroy flow.
You can't have somebody build your confidence up. That's not how it works.
Done with y'all. I'm done with y'all. I'm done.
This is from Dave. He got the $2 He said, Jets fan here. Hopefully, prop leg for Miami, Kansas City. I don't even know what the props are. You'd have to let us know. Also LA with the $10. He said when Kobe got injured in the season, when he went in the final against the Celtics, was he thinking about injuring him when he was going to the paint or when Mahomes was injured last year? That's true, but you also have to, there's different times, because when Tua broke his ribs against Buffalo, he tried to go back out there and they didn't let him because he had broken ribs. So it all depends. It all depends.
Yeah.
The Red
if that was a playoff game, you might have let him go out there. You see what I'm saying? But it's all relative too.
Like we were talking about before with injuries. If Waddle and Mostert are 70%, you play them. There is no tomorrow.
100%. There is no tomorrow.
Red Hood with the $5 donation. He said, honestly, you should try trading Tua and getting a high draft pick and taking a chance on Trey Lance or Jameis Winston and start getting better on defense.
No, thank you, dog. No,
Gosh.
thank you.
If I'm not for those,
That's
two,
a
but
Not for those
Come
two
on,
guys.
TD, are you there? Are you there too, TD?
No, thank you. Not
It's-
those guys.
listen, with them, hey, with those two names, it's two a time, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Come on, bro.
Hey,
especially what Jameis Winston did that last game where he took the quarterback sneak on a
hey,
knee. No, I don't
now
want
y'all want to be two a time. Now y'all want to be two a
Listen,
time.
I ain't Jameis Lance time. You got me messed up, bro.
With those options,
Merle with the $2 said, lose this game, Ross cleans house. I don't think he cleans house, but I don't think he helps as much as he would, in my
I
I
personal
don't know.
opinion.
The heads might roll though. That's for sure.
Yeah,
The
well,
heads might
no,
So
roll.
he fired McDaniel?
But
No,
yeah.
not the coaches.
Oh, okay.
Uncle
All
Ron
right.
with the $5 says, in the last 2 minutes of the playoff game, does Tua ever run for like 17 like Josh Allen? Tell me if any of you can say yes. He's not as fast as Josh Allen.
No.
It's a different. That's like saying, does Tom Brady run for?
That's not his game.
Yeah,
that's not his game.
That's
buddy.
not. Listen, I have appreciated Tua taking the yardage out when he sees everyone spread out. We have seen that. That's all we ever asked for. We didn't ask him to beat Josh Allen in the running game. We said, hey, there's grass. They've got deep. Take the yards. He's done it. I'm pleased with his.
Last week.
I'm pleased what he's done, Doug. I was happy. I'm happy with him getting that. He's heard the critics. He put it in his game. That's all we need, dog. That's
And
it.
he has to be better there.
They did it with Peyton Manning against with the Broncos, where they did play action and the camera stayed on the running back because Manning never, and he ran it in. Do that every once in a blue. Hennessy with the $2 donation. I'm ready for some frozen fish. Nice season though. I appreciate you, bud. Even though it's a mammal, it's not a fish.
I know, bro.
Kill him, dog.
King Lowski with the $5 TD stay lying. Bum ass frozen fish. 24 years still won't win a thing. I know King Lowski and TD got something going on. Ill raw.
I hope we can see them woman. Like if we forget Lowski, I don't care about Lowski. Your team trash.
He's obviously under TD's skin. It sounds like to me.
I hope we can see the Bills again. I think we're gonna see the Bills again when we beat the Chiefs. That's gonna be what we want, what we need.
Oh my God, I would pray for. I'll pray to CB's God Tua for that right now.
That's not my God.
Overall, with the tour says Tua is beating Patty Mahoe. I hope so. Hopefully,
Tua Leroy.
Just run the ball. Also, LA with the tenor says Tom Brady did in the beginning. That's how he brought them down the field for a game-winning field goal in not one but two Super Bowls. Get the F out of here, CB. We're not starting that again because we got to talk about
Brady is our God.
We got to talk about this game, and I'm going to start with TD since he's having a little technical difficulties. What do you and don't you give me? We all know what's going to happen. What do you?
Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Doug.
All right. I know exactly what's going to happen.
There we go.
In this game. No. I truly, all trolling aside, man, real take. I think we're gonna win this game. I think we're gonna win this game. I think that I truly, and I'm not saying this as a dig. What I saw in that Kurt Warner film was so egregious that it's easily correctable.
Mm-hmm.
If you
That's a good take. It's a real good take right there.
Teachable moment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the opportunities were just like, wow, like stick to what you know. We were doing a lot of guessing. Stick to what we know. Make sure you hit that intermediate when the linebackers don't get the depth. Take the shots, when they're there. And, it ain't always got to be the shot. Sometimes the underneath is the perfect play.
Yes.
So I think that we beat them and we beat them possibly even by like 10 points. It'll be a dogfight up until the end when maybe they make a mistake or we get the go ahead. And that'll be the end of the game. And I see something around like 20, 30, maybe even 31 to like 23 or something like that, somewhere close to that 10 mark. But I think we win this game for real. And now we're going to get destroyed the very next week. But yeah, this week, we
don't even know who we're going against next week. How do you know we're getting destroyed?
It don't matter.
It doesn't
don't
matter.
Come on,
What if it's
TD.
Pittsburgh coming to Miami? What if it's Pittsburgh coming to Miami?
That's Wolfpack.
That
talent.
ain't happening. Well, no, that ain't how the scenario would work.
I know.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh
that
never.
can't happen. I think we'd have to go to. I
Yeah.
think if anything,
We'd
go
have to
It's
face them in the
Baltimore
AFC
or
Championship
Buffalo.
game.
It's
yeah.
Baltimore or Buffalo.
No, if Buffalo loses to the Steelers, we either go to the Browns or we go to Houston.
Yeah, I just don't see that happening.
No, yeah, Buffalo's not losing to the Steelers.
But,
That ain't happening now. That would be the shock of the season right there.
It could happen.
yeah, we'll win this game, and then when we win this game, then we got in my opinion, a true opportunity to prove something.
Yeah.
Ooh, so this ain't no opportunity to prove nothing.
It ain't never been. That's why I keep telling y'all. For me, at least.
Gosh, man,
We'll
I
see.
can't
What
with
do you
this
think?
guy.
What do you think is going to happen tomorrow night?
I think we come out. I think Mike McDaniel runs the ball. I think the defense comes to play. I think we make it tough on Mahomes. I like our defense. I like Vic Fangio in this, in this unit. I think we're gonna run the ball. I think we're gonna stick to it. I think we're gonna find a way to will a win out, and I think it'll be a close game. I'm thinking like 23-17 win. Jason Sanders is gonna have to hit maybe a field goal or two in the in the cold. But I think this is the one we come out, we squeak away with, and I think it's a good game for the Miami Dolphins to kind of prove that, hey, you can go out and beat a good football team on the road in the weather, and just prove history wrong. It's time to turn history on its head and say, hey, let's just go out there and win. And people talk about the history of the Miami Dolphins a lot, but you gotta, this is a whole new team. These guys have been together for 2 years. So they got an opportunity to come out and they know what's on the line. I think they're going to will this one for Tyreek Hill. I think this is going to be a Tyreek Hill game where they just go out here and they want to win it for him. He's one of the huge leaders on the team. He's a captain of the team. They want to go out there and get it for him. So I think they're going to play for him.
He did stay after practice on the jug machine.
He's working.
El Capitan, what are you thinking?
So I'm gonna put on my delusional Dolphins head, not for the win, because I honestly, and we talked about this backstage. CB, you weren't back there. I was predicting a win. I really think we're gonna win this game, like wholeheartedly. I'm not even going slide a little action on it because I really think we're gonna win this game. I think the Chiefs are for the taking for the Dolphins. No matter what, whether it's in the passing game because the weather is permitting or it's the run game. I think the defense is going to show up lights out. They can't pass the ball. They shut down Pacheco in that run game, and you make Patrick Mahomes have to throw the ball against receivers that have the most drops in the NFL.
Yeah,
it's really going to spell well for us. A lot of 3-and-outs, maybe some turnovers, and us just play our game. But here's the Tua sexual take that I'm going to do right now. Okay, all right. Here's the Tua sexual take that I'm going to put right now, and TD, you make sure. It says darkness retreat.
Hey, please clip this.
You make sure to let Dan know this next time you see him, okay? That the greatest story ever told has just begun.
Ooh.
The Dolphins going on the road and going to beat every AFC team on their way to the Super Bowl that they lost to in the season. We take care of business against the Chiefs on the road. We go either to either to Buffalo or the Ravens and beat them, and then we find them the next week, whether it's Buffalo or the Ravens, and then we find ourselves against the Eagles in the Super Bowl and beat them. God. 4 teams on our way to the Super Bowl victory, all lost to them in the season. The Tua sexual take of the evening. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you might well put $1 on that and you'll be a millionaire.
I'm telling you right now, I'm making those bets. You let Dan know that the real greatest story ever told has just begun, and it starts tomorrow night.
So my prediction, I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I think the wind is going to affect it. I think there will be passing, but I don't think it's going to be crazy. I have the Dolphins winning 17-14. I think it's going to be a low game, but a lot of, I keep thinking about this, but Justin Houston, I feel like, is going to really help this team. Not only I think his job is just get after Mahomes, but he knows Mahomes. He's played with Mahomes, so he can
Mm.
help with that whole intel and everything there. But overall, we got to win this game. I'm tired of it. How many playoffs have we been to and we're one and done? Let's get this done. Last time we won a playoff game was off the running back. Let's do that and let's go. David said with the fiver, he said, well, the NFL has officially set up the fix. They have Mahomes highlight package on Instagram. Good.
Yeah, no, that's the fix in the other direction. All the bettors are getting ready to lose their money. That's how I'm taking it. Let's go.
Mike with the fiver says, fire McDaniel, trade Tyreek, get some draft capital back, pick up to his 5th-year option. They already did that. Then prepare for a rebuild. No chance you guys are beating KC. 88 Riggy 88 with the fiver says, CB, I'm with you. Must run in this game. I like El Capitan take. Sounds crazy, but I like it. I think we all love it.
Let's go.
That was a good
We would
take.
all
Hey,
have
look.
it.
Really, let's go.
I know we're about to get out of here. Let me ask y'all one quick question real quick.
Shoot.
What happens if Tua plays like absolute garbage?
Good question.
I don't give him a contract extension. Play the 5th year.
Pitchforks and torches, TD. It's time to rally the troops.
CB's brain can't even compute that. CB's brain can't even compute it. I see
Oh, yeah,
him.
he's short circuiting right now.
Honestly,
I see the smoke coming out.
Because that would be the worst thing for the Miami Dolphins tomorrow. That would be the absolute worst thing.
Y'all still find a way to justify 55 million.
I can't. Look, I'm not blind.
TD, if we didn't have injuries.
Guys, I'm not blind to the fact that Tua does have some deficiencies in his game, but man, if he goes out there and lays an egg tomorrow, it's like, damn, like our decision making moving forward is like screw. Like, what do we do? Like, we have to have somebody come in and challenge him.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Stop, TD. Stop doing this, bro.
TD.
I don't like it, TD. You gotta chill. You gotta chill.
You're having too much fun, boy. You're having too much fun. You better stop
He is, bro.
He's having too much
by
fun.
running the same limited offense we run. Here's the thing. McDaniel, I know he's not listening right now, but if
He gotta be. Come on.
that you haven't
He's listening.
thrown out there yet, now's the time to throw it out there.
Yeah, that little green book. Bring it out. Come on.
Hey, you got to bring out some. Hey, bring out the annexation of Puerto Rico, bro. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys. Does
Hey,
Mike
stop sending
McDaniel
super chats. We trying to go.
They sending them. Keep rolling them in. Keep rolling them in.
last playoff win was December 30th, 2000. Fins up no matter what. Last question before we get out of here. Does Mike McDaniel have his sweatpants rolled up tomorrow night?
He can't show ankles tomorrow. He can't show ankles tomorrow. It's too cold.
I say
bro.
yes. It's a power move, and he's going to reveal his new rose gold Dolphins anklet on it. Boom.
Hey, heated socks. He's gonna have on heated socks tomorrow.
Power
Heated
move,
socks.
dog.
Ain't nobody playing with that weather tomorrow.
No.
Ain't nobody
no.
playing with that weather
No.
tomorrow.
It'll
They
be
not.
so red.
Ain't not a single person gonna try to make a statement. You gonna end up all right now. You gonna be out there. We gonna be talking like DeMar Hamlin was. And
I'll
it
tell
ain't
you
no
what, if
joke.
Jalen Phillips was playing,
he
he would be practicing before the game shirtless. Mark my words.
I bet
know
you
that
he
to be a
wouldn't.
fact.
I bet you he wouldn't.
Oh,
in no
he
negative
would.
degree.
Icicles
I
coming
bet
off the
boy, I can
tatas and
say this.
everything. He don't give a damn.
Man, if you see somebody out there doing something stupid, cut them. Cut them. They ain't mentally right.
Hey,
All
you,
right,
you
man,
need,
we outta
you need
here.
unstable.
Take us out of here, TD.
All right, man. I don't know if y'all can hear me because I'm lagging like crazy. I can barely hear these guys. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Thanks for all the birthday love. Thank you to everybody who sent me love in the Cash App. I appreciate you guys. This is another episode of Miami Dolphins Roundtable on the AFC East Roundtable, brought to you by Roundtable Sports. We love y'all. We love y'all. If you want to support the channel, go check out the Sleeper app as well. Use code AFC East. Help us do bigger and better things here on AFC East Roundtable. We love y'all. Thanks, Doug. Always. Thanks, CB83 and our
Yes,
special
sir.
guest, El Capitan from the Fields Tailgate. Y'all go check them out. Make sure you go subscribe. Them boys be riding out all day and all night. So you
Holla
always
for a
got
dollar.
that over there, man.
Yeah, brother.
Salute. We are out. Peace.
Peace.
Everybody knows
See
what's
ya.
gonna happen tomorrow. Everybody knows what's gonna happen tomorrow.